Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me and you're new to my channel, I welcome you. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Aspergers Syndrome, OCD and the like, along with tips and advice along the way for you guys that may need tips and advice through managing your and treating your everyday personal struggles, be it your personal health or maybe just your mental state. Or I also just give you words of encouragement for yourselves to just help you get along with your day, to gain clarity and understanding of what's going on. It's been put to my attention, even though this is like April, it's supposed to be Autism Awareness Month or whatever you want me to call it right now, and at this point of time, regardless of it all, regardless of the everyday topics that I want to share, I want to share some other variety of topics while I'm into this month as well, so I can jazz it up a bit as we go, so that we can actually take a break here and there from some of the topics I want to share that's autism related. Anyway, this one's all about the series for or playlistings for epileptics, even though it can be for anyone who wants to know more about what I'm about to share. So if you see any warning signs or symptoms, as a disclaimer, seek professional help or second opinion from your medical doctor or whoever you can trust when you see any of these, so that you or your friend won't condone any self-harm or what have you. Alright, this one's all about the ketogenic diets. You may have heard about it before. I'm going to break it down to two parts. I'm going to do all about the ketogenic diets for epileptics, and then the second part will be about the myths and misconceptions you may hear about of the ketogenic diets that is lying around. So this one's obviously part one, which is what is all about the ketogenic diets. This is not just for epileptics, just to bear in mind basically. This can be for people that has problems with headaches or just some other health related issues, whatever it may be. So the question you may be asking is, what is it, what it consists of? So to let you know, the ketogenic diet is a special high fat, low carbohydrate diet that helps to control seizures in some people with epilepsy. Doctors usually recommend the ketogenic diet for children whose seizures have not responded to several different medicines or medications that is clearly available today. The typical ketogenic diet is called the long chain triglyceride diet, as what's commonly called, provides 3 to 4 grams of fat for every 1 gram of carbohydrate and protein. Several studies have shown that ketogenic diet does reduce or prevent seizures in many children whose seizures couldn't be controlled by the medications that were given. So obviously there are some questions along the way you'll be asking me. So the first one you may be asking is, what is the ketogenic diet? Okay, this is a special high fat, low carbohydrate diet that helps to control seizures in some people with epilepsy, as mentioned before. It is prescribed by a physician and then it is carefully monitored by a dietitian. It is a stricter than the diet than the modified Atkins diet that you hear about, that will require careful measurements of calories, fluids and proteins. The name ketogenic means that it produces ketones in the body. Keto equals ketone, genic equals producing. Ketones are formed when the body uses fat for its source of energy. Usually the blood uses carbohydrates such as your sugars or bread, pasta for its fuel source. But because the ketogenic diet is very low in carbohydrates, however, fats become the main primary fuel for instead. Ketones ain't dangerous, however, far from it. They can be detected in the urine, blood and breath. Ketones are one of the more likely mechanisms of action of this diet, with higher ketone levels often leading to improved seizure control. However, there are many other theories for why the diet will work. How does the ketogenic diet work? Normally the carbohydrates in body are converted to glucose, which is then used to power the body and brain by circulating through the bloodstream and providing immediate energy to cells. However, if the body is in ketosis state, the liver converts fats into fatty acids, and ketone bodies are used to be used for the same purposes. How does the ketogenic diet is already done? So who will it help for people that is on this diet? Doctors usually recommend the ketogenic diet for children whose seizures hasn't responded to several different medicines. It's also particularly recommended for children with the Lennox Aspergers Syndrome. The diet is usually not recommended for adults, mostly because the restricted food choices makes it harder to follow. Yet studies has done on the use of this diet in adults shows that it may seem to work just as well. The ketogenic diet has been shown in smaller studies, case reports, and case series to be particularly helpful for some epilepsy conditions. These will include infantile spasms, Rett syndrome, tuberous sclerosis complex, and Dravet syndrome, Deuce syndrome, and GLUT1 deficiency. Using a formula-only ketogenic diet, however, for infants and gastro-fed children may lead to better compliance and possibly even more improved efficiency. In general, however, the diet can always be considered as long as there are no clear metabolic or mitochondrial reasons not to use it. What is it like for this ketogenic diet? The typical ketogenic diet, called the long-chain triglyceride diet, provides 3 to 4 grams of fat for every 1 gram of carbohydrate and protein. Usually when the classic ketogenic diet is prescribed, the total calories are matched to the number of calories the person really needs. For example, if a child is eating a 1500 calorie regular diet, it would be changed to a 1500 calorie ketogenic diet. For very young children only, the diet may be prescribed based on the weight, for example 75 to 100 calories for each kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds of the body weight. If it sounds complicated, it really is, let's be honest here. That's why people need a dietitian's help when using this form of diet. A ketogenic diet ratio is the ratio of fat to carbohydrate and protein grams combined. A 4.1 ratio or 4 to 1 ratio is more strict than a 3 to 1 ratio, however, and is typically used for most children. A 3 to 1 ratio is typically used for infants, adolescents, and children who require higher amounts of protein or carbohydrate for some other reason. The kinds of foods that provide fat for the ketogenic diet are butter, heavy whipping cream, mayonnaise, and oils such as your canola or olive oil. Because the amount of carbohydrates and protein in the diet has to be restricted, however, it is very important to prepare meals real carefully. No other sources of carbohydrates can be eaten. Even toothpaste might have some sugar in it. The ketogenic diet is supervised by a dietitian who monitors the child's nutrition and can teach parents and the child what can and cannot be eaten. What happens first? Typically, the diet will be started in the hospital. The child usually begins fasting, except for water, under close medical supervision for the first 24 hours. For instance, the child might go into the hospital on Monday, start fasting at 6 p.m, and continue to have only water until the following day, say 6 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday. Then the diet will then begin, either by slowly increasing the calories or the ratio. This is typically the Hopkins protocol. There is growing evidence that fasting is probably not necessary for long-term efficiency, although it does lead to a quicker onset of ketosis. The primary reason for admission in most centers in America or wherever is to monitor for any increase in seizures on the diet, ensure all medications are carbohydrate free, however, and educate the families. How long does it take for the body to go into ketosis? It only takes 1 to 3 days to get into ketosis, but getting into ketosis is really easy. Becoming keto adapted is the trickier part. It usually takes a month to get into the first stage of becoming keto adapted, and it takes for up to 2 years to fully train your body to use the ketones fully. Does it work? Is the next question you may be asking me. Several studies have shown that the ketogenic diet does reduce or prevent seizures in many children whose seizures couldn't be controlled by medications. Over half of the children who go on the diet has at least 50% reduction in the number of their seizures. Some children usually are between 10 to 15% even become seizure free themselves. You may be thinking or telling me to tell you more. Children who are on the ketogenic diet continue to take seizure medicines. Some are able to take smaller doses or fewer medicines than before they started this diet. Whenever medications can be lowered will be depending on the child and the comfort level of the neurologist that is, or hopefully will be monitoring their progress. Evidence has suggested it can be done safely in some children as soon as the diet has started. If the person goes off the diet for even one meal, it may lose its good effect of what it was doing in the first place. So it's very important to stick with the diet as prescribed. It can be hard to follow the diet 100%, however, especially if there are other children who are on a normal diet. Small children who have free access to the fridge are tempted by forbidden foods. parents need to work as closely as possible with the dietitian. Next question you'll be asking, is there any side effects? A person studying the ketogenic may feel sluggish for a few days after the diet has started, which is normal. This can worsen if a child is sick at the same time, though, however, when that diet has started. Make sure to encourage carbohydrate-free foods during the illnesses. Other side effects that may occur if the person stays on this diet for a long time are as follows: kidney stones, high cholesterol levels in the blood, dehydration, constipation, slow growth or weight gain, bone fractures. Any other medications need to be changed. Because the diet doesn't provide all the vitamins and minerals found in a balanced diet that we need on a day-to-day basis for most normal people, the dietitian will recommend vitamin and mineral supplements. The most important of these are calcium and vitamin D to prevent thinning of the bones, iron and folic acids. There are no anticonvulsants that should be stopped while on this diet though, however. Topamax or topiramate or zonisamide do not have a high risk of acidosis or even kidney stones while on the diet. Depakote or valproic acid doesn't lead to carnitine or carnitine deficiency or other difficulties while on the diet either. Medication don't change while the diet, according to some recent studies. Next question you'll be wondering is, how is the patient usually monitored over time when on this diet? Earlier on, the doctor will usually see the child every 1 to 3 months. Blood and urine tests are then performed, however, to make sure there are no medical problems. The height and weight are measured to see if growth has slowed down. As the child gains weight, the diet will or may need to be adjusted by the dietitian. Can the diet ever be stopped is the last question. If seizures have been well controlled for some time, however, usually 2 years, the doctor might suggest going off the diet, but be warned, do it slowly like any given thing, like on your medication and whatever else. The patient will need to be gradually taken off the diet over several months or even longer though. Seizures may worsen if the ketogenic diet is stopped all at once. Children usually continue to take seizure medicines after they go off to the diet. In many situations, the diet has led to significant but no total seizure control. Families may choose to remain on the ketogenic diet for many years in these situations, however, too. So this quickly ends a really short version of all about the ketogenic diets for epilepsies and more. Give me a like for thumbs up for support, comment below, follow me on my social media sites listed below. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so. Don't forget also to turn on the notification bell on so that you can keep up to date with what I'm up to. So in all further ado guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching, do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out. I'll see you again.